Hi everyone, my name is Brin and welcome back to my YouTube channel. As you will have seen over the past few weeks, I have been living in Spain. Well, that's been going on for more than a few weeks, but videos wise, I've been posting a few videos about my life here in Spain, particularly my sort of week in the lives or day in the life type activities. And I just felt like that wasn't what I felt like doing this week, if that makes sense, but I still wanted to make something for you anyway. So I thought that today I would talk about things that people don't necessarily tell you or don't necessarily think about living overseas. This idea came about because last week I very coincidentally, one of the people I went to school with, and she was here in Seville. I didn't know she was here in Seville. She didn't know I lived here in Seville. So it was all very coincidental. And we were just in one of the bars here, La Carboneria, the one that I mentioned, I think, in the previous vlog, or maybe the vlog before that, I can't remember. But I mentioned it in a vlog because we usually go there every week. And she was there, she just happened to be there. I said hello and she said, "Oh my God, you're here and you're living your life." And she was like, "Oh my God, you're here living your life and it all looks so great. Wow, it's like you're living a dream," or something along these lines, this train of thought. And in the moment, I was like, well, yeah, you know, maybe it looks that way, but it's not always that great, or something like that. But then it got me thinking, how many people think that what I'm doing or the life that I'm living is actually all this great fun experience? Because of course, the things that I share on social media are typically very nice, like, oh my God, I'm living such a nice life kind of things. I think that partly that comes from me because I'm not particularly sharing, you know, the worst moments of my life on social media, because of course, I don't think most people are spending their time on social media in that way. However, I think that it's important that I do share some of the things that really happen, because it's difficult otherwise for people to sort of move overseas and come to these places. And then when they get there, they don't feel like it's all sunshine and rainbows, which I think is the experience that a lot of people have when they move overseas. It's just people don't talk about it. So yeah, I wanted to share that, and I just wanted to speak about that today, and I thought maybe that would be something that people were interested in if they were interested in coming to somewhere like Spain. Also, I apologize for my nails, they are gritty, but yeah. Anyway, so I want to start off by saying that it's very normal to feel this way about living overseas. Every time I've lived overseas, I have felt some version of this. I also think it's a very normal feeling to have in your 20s and your early 30s. Just as you're starting to experience different things and your life is changing quite rapidly in a way that it hasn't really since you were a child. So I think that that's quite a normal feeling for people to have. In saying that, here are some of the things that I think are the most difficult things about living overseas. One is that because you're not living with your school friends or your university friends, in most cases, it can be very difficult to have a real friendship group. This is what I hear time and time and time again from people who are expats. They move to a different country or they move to a different city. They can't build a friendship group because it's really difficult to build friendship groups as adults. The friends who they do have are busy with the friends that they had before. And then they end up not having anything to do and having no one really around them as a support network, no matter how hard they try. And this is something that's been very true for my experience here in Spain. I'm very lucky that I do have some friends who I met while I was overseas. So I do have a few people here in Spain who, you know, I talk to, who I'm friends with. It's difficult though when obviously they have their own lives to live, of course, it's normal. So I can't ask them every single week, oh, can we do something together? Can we do something together? Can we do something together? I can, but then I become quite an annoying friend. So I think that this is another thing as well. It's different when you're in university because things are a little bit more flexible. You've got a bit more time to sort of move around things. But once you're working and people are working on different schedules, people have different jobs, different commitments, it can become really hard to see people. And I think that was one of the difficult things about moving here in summer, was that when we moved, there was, I don't know, there was a great atmosphere, but there weren't many people to do things with. And I think that made it a bit difficult for those first few months. Well, we were settling in, for me at least. I didn't really get to do that much for me. Obviously it's different for my partner because he's from here, he knows people here, and it's easier, I suppose, for him in a way because he's coming back to his country. But I think that in some ways it's almost worse having friends here than when I didn't have friends in London. Because when I didn't have friends in London the second time we went, I didn't really have a friend group because I was working, and then I knew we were coming here, so I didn't really feel like I wanted to build a lot of deep connections. So I just worked a lot. I worked on my business. I worked outside of the house. That's just what I did. I worked. I studied a bit. That was it. But here, where I have friends, it almost feels worse emotionally and more lonely when you have people around you who you could be doing things with, but you can't do things with them. I think that if I didn't have any friends, or if I was just making friends here, it would be a completely different experience. Because even though I would be lonely, I'm personally okay with being a bit lonely because I'm... 1 second. Okay, well, I'm back. We received a parcel, so I was a little bit distracted for a minute. However, what was I saying? It would be more lonely, I think, having friends and